Hello, and thank you for watching this video in my blog or in YouTube channel or wherever you watch this video. Today I would like to talk about performance. Performance of every company, performance of every organization, whether you take profitability, return on investments, social impact, or whatever, depends on the performance of the groups or teams that are in this organization. And performance of every group, of every team, depends on the performance of each and every individual in this organization. Today I would like to simplify the approach of how to look at performance in the organization, and I would like to offer you a simple formula that you can use when you consider the performance in your organization or when you consider improving performance in your organization. So the performance formula consists of three components. The performance formula is performance is the sum or total of three components. The first component is ability, the second component is environment, and the third component is motivation. And in this video I'm going to unpack each component of the performance formula. So let's start with the ability. Ability of every individual in the organization. Ability, first of all, includes skills. Skills of the person to perform his or her job. If we speak about accountant, so the person needs to have the financial skills, economical skills to do the job. If we speak about the driver of the truck, so we speak about the skills of this person to drive this type of vehicle, exactly this type of vehicle. When I say skills, we also may include here background, and also ability is the experience the person has or needs to have to perform their job. Or if the experience is lacking, this is the training or education that person needs to have to be able to conduct his or her job. And one more component in the ability component of the performance formula is the personality and personality traits of the person who does the job. Earlier, people were looked at as resources. People in the company were looked at as resources. And here's the title of the department: Human Resources. Same as equipment was the resource, same as information was the resource, same as money or real estate. All these were resources of the company. People were also looked at as resources. And all the goals were set with this approach in mind. The jobs were designed with this approach in mind, and the tasks were given with this approach in mind. But people are not machines, people are not equipment, people are not robots. Of course, some people can act as robots for days, for weeks, for months, sometimes for years, but then such people have burnout. Because in most cases, burnout is not about the quantity of work or quantity of working hours. It's not about the person who works a lot. Burnout is most often about the person who is doing not his or her job. What I mean by his or her job? Let's look at the personality trait, the most and widely known personality trait as extraversion and introversion. So when we take an extroverted person, let's imagine a super extroverted person who works as an accountant. This job is super boring, super monotonous for extroverted person. Of course, the person can do his or her best to do the job in the best way he or she can do. He can try as hard as possible. He or she can try as hard as possible. And the results may be quite good, but they will never be top results. And also, after some time, sooner or later, this person may have a burnout because of incoherence between the personality the person is and the job he or she is doing. Or let's look at an introverted person, super introverted person who works as the salesperson. It happens sometimes. So the job of the salesperson includes lots of communication with people, with different people. It includes also being polite and smiling and be able to manage some conflicts, some situations that are not super easy to handle. And also, this introvert person can do his or her best to do the job in a proper way. He or she can take and make all the efforts and can try as much as possible, but the results will never be top results. And the person may also either come to the burnout point or basically start behaving in an inappropriate way at the job. I mean, the person can become mean and arrogant, impolite, or even rude with the customers. And it all will impact the performance of the company and the results of the company. So this is about the ability of the person to do a job in connection to the personality and personality traits he or she has. The personality and personality traits is a very complex topic, and I'm basically planning to unpack it a bit in my future videos. So if you are interested, just keep following. So ability was the first component in performance formula. The second component is environment. Environment means quite a lot. First of all, these are materials, resources, and equipment that is needed or that are needed by the person to do his or her job, depending on the job he or she has. Some will need more equipment and resources, some will need less. It's also about the information. Let's imagine the situation when a manager gives a task to his or her team member to prepare a report, some kind of report. And this person is missing some information. So he or she prepares the report based on information she or he has. Of course, the report will not be properly made because some information is missing. And when this person submits the reports to his or her manager, for sure the manager is not satisfied. He or she criticizes the person for doing the job not in a proper way or even for doing a bad job. But basically the person is not to blame because he or she didn't have all the information that he or she needed. And very often managers even don't realize that the problem is not in the person himself or herself, but in the missing resources, in the missing information that the person needed to have. When we speak about the environment, we also speak about the job design. If the job is on-site or remote or hybrid, what are the working hours? Is it flexible scheduler or set scheduler? If we speak about the on-site work, what are the working conditions? Is it safe? Is it good to work there? When we speak about environment, we also speak about the rules, procedures, and what is most important, business culture of the organization. Because business culture is what influences the performance of every person a lot. And I would also like to unpack this topic in the future videos. And also environment is the group dynamics, because every person, or almost every person, due to their job characteristics, works in the group of people. So what are the relationships in the group? What is the division of the responsibilities and roles in the group? The whole bench of factors is packed into the environment component in our performance formula. So I've already talked about the ability as the component of performance formula, about the environment, and the next one is motivation. Motivation is even more complex topic than the personality traits, than the business culture, because you can look at personality from different perspectives, in different dimensions, and because motivation is multi-dimensional and super complex topic to look at. But just to touch superficially this component a bit for you to have more understanding of what is packed in the performance formula. So when we speak about the motivation, first of all, we look at the needs of the person. And every person can have different needs. Why she works, or what she works, and what are basically the needs of each and every person. And when we look at motivation, also we speak about the two types of motivation: extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation includes all the external factors that motivate person: salary, bonuses, and rewards. Not only money, but also maybe some other, like corporate car, or health insurance, or subscription to the gym, or whatever. It's also the position the person has. It's also external factor that motivates, because some people are motivated by having high positions, and this is the external motivation, extrinsic motivation for them. But there is also intrinsic motivation. This motivation is the motivation that is inside us. What motivates me from inside? These are my aspirations, these are my values, this is my calling, this is my talent, my gifts, where I'm gifted at. So this is the intrinsic motivation. And needs, extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation, it's all packed in the motivation component of the performance formula. So one more time, performance formula: ability plus environment plus motivation. As I told, I am going to unpack these components in the future videos, and basically this is what I'm talking about at the trainings for the line managers and team leads. And already at the trainings we do practical tasks on this to better understand and easier implement this later on at the workplaces. And as I told, I'm planning to speak about this in the future videos, so follow me, or if you would like to receive the posts or videos on time, I invite you to subscribe to the newsletters at the subscription form on my web, and you can find the link to my web in the social media where you're watching this video at. Hope it was useful, hope it was practical, hope you will implement some of things that I was talking about today. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. If you are interested in cooperating with me, I invite you to visit my webpage. The link to the webpage is in the description of my profile. So go by the link, check the web, check the details, and if you are interested in cooperating, feel free to contact me.